Hello and welcome to the Top 3 Channel. Top 3 Channel is brought to you by hopelify.org to inspire you to become the very best that you are designed to be. A few simple keys, mastered and consistently applied, are all you need to excel in each area of life. Hit the subscribe button to receive more Top 3 videos. Enjoy!
As millennials have come into the workforce in large numbers, their expectations of companies have changed. They no longer look at it as sort of a paycheck, but they look at it as, how can I go to work and make a difference in society? So the notion of purpose is becoming a much bigger factor. The big difference is that in the past, purpose used to be some sort of a corporate social responsibility program. And typically those programs were good, people liked them, but they were at the whim or fancy of the CEO who was there. So if the CEO retired, that program got cut. So we had to weave purpose into the core business model of the company. How do you make sure that the sense of purpose can only be accomplished if you make profits? And the only way to make profits is through purpose. And that's why we use the term performance with purpose, linking both together. And I think that's what's excited millennials in particular, and what's excited the boomers to even stay longer in the workforce, because they actually feel they're contributing to the future of society as opposed to walking in, picking a paycheck and leaving. My daughters would say to you that what I've always told them and what they've told me is to follow my dreams, follow their dreams. I remember one particular incident, and my daughter Tara is here, so she's going to be embarrassed if I tell you the story. She was at the Convent of the Sacred Heart in Greenwich all her life. She went there when she was 3. She just graduated a few months ago. And in Sacred Heart, I think the third Wednesday of every month, they have a mother's coffee. I think that's a plot against working women. Because how can I show up at a mother's coffee on Wednesday morning at 9 o'clock? So I didn't. So Tara would say, Mom, you didn't show up for mother's coffee. The first couple of times, I went through guilt. So third time, I said, wait, got to come up with some coping mechanism here. So the next time she said, Mom, you didn't come for class coffee. I go, yeah, but so-and-so didn't come, so-and-so didn't come, XYZ didn't come. So it was my way of saying, I'm not that bad a mom, They didn't show up too. Which was true. Many of them didn't show up.
That was good. You outed them. That was nice.
No, it's a coping mechanism. We all have to find our own coping mechanisms. So then when she came back home that evening, I said, Tara, you keep saying I don't make your class copies. Would you like me to quit my job and stay home? I asked her this question. And I thought she'd say, yeah, great idea, do that. She looked at me and she said, Mom, are you nuts? You worked so hard to get here. Follow your dreams, Mom. I'll be okay.
Wow.
This was 12-year-old. This is what she said to me. I have never forgotten that answer. I have never forgotten that answer, because both my kids said to me, Mom, follow your dreams. You came to the United States with nothing, $50 in your pocket. And I worked as a receptionist at Yale from midnight to 5 a.m. because that paid $3.85 an hour versus $3.35, which was the minimum wage. I wanted that 50 cents more an hour, because if I didn't have that, I couldn't buy groceries end of the month. And so that's what I did to put myself through school. And I've told them these stories. So they look at all that and they go, Mom, you've done so much to get here. Follow your dreams. So I tell them always, Willow, follow your dreams. One big lesson I've learned, Doug, is that if you just depend on the traditional strategic planning cycle or depend on a standard set of consulting reports, you actually are going to do your company a big disservice. And our CEOs and leaders have to be lifelong students. And not just students in the sense of attending courses or reading a book or two. You've got to learn how to read widely, walk the market, look at trends in the marketplace, make connections that don't seem obvious, and start to paint pictures of what the future could be. And then watch consumer behavior. I'll give you an example. 10 years ago, or maybe 15 years ago, if you came to Pepsi Co and looked at all the beverages that were being served on the side tables when we were having meetings, most of the people would be consuming full sugar beverages. But 10 years ago, the trend shifted. Or maybe 20 years ago, they were drinking full sugar. 10 years ago, they shifted to diet drinks. Okay? But 5 years ago, they were drinking more bottled water. Now, the point that I'd make to my guys is, guys, you don't need to hire a consultant to tell you where the trends are. You just have to look at our side table. Remember the number of facings we used to have for regular sugar Pepsi versus diet Pepsi versus bottled water now? If you're all drinking bottled water or drinking zero-calorie beverages, why do we think we're not representative of the consumer? Very often, I think what happens is we separate out the consumer out there from the consumer in us. We are the consumer. And the more we can bring the two together and say, we too are representative of the consumer outside, I think it would be better. We go out and, our children play with other children. We see other families. And when they moderate certain products that we sell in terms of what's given to kids, that's a trend. Okay, so we've got to watch all of these things. And too often, I think, us leaders think what consultants tell us or what certain reports say or certain books say is the gospel. It's really not. We have to become our own data collectors, data analyzers, and then shape creators. And I think that's the toughest thing, because people who are rewriting the rules have to create the shapes. And people don't like that because they have a traditional model of how things work, and they hate people who upset status quo. And I think both of us are upsetting status quo in a big way. And it's tough. So we can be, the better. The more we can break the rules, the better off we're going to be, because, the world is full of ideas today. And if we don't do it, somebody else is going to do it. In fact, I'd say little startups are capturing a lot of the growth today, even in our space, even in the food and beverage space. So in many ways, in our company, we have to act as if we are a bunch of little startups. And that's what we are, a bunch of little startups. So in order to do that, we've got to allow people to be bold, write the rules any way they want, and that's what they're doing in our company. On a relative basis, yes, I've had it all, okay? On a relative basis, I'm very fortunate to have a wonderful husband, 2 great kids, a very tight-knit family, and an awesome job with a great team. But, to get here and to stay here, lots of trade-offs, lots of sacrifices, under the water, a lot of collateral damage, but I think somehow I've had the strength to power through all of that. Can you have it all? That's the big question in this definition. I think if you have the right support system, if you have an understanding spouse, if you want to be married, and if you're willing to make all the trade-offs that you need to make, you can have it all. But while you do all that, there will be heartache, there will be pain, there will be some collateral damage underneath the surface. You've got to live with it.
Thank you for watching today's Top 3 video. This channel is brought to you by hopelify.org to inspire you to become the very best that you are designed to be. Remember, a few simple keys, mastered and consistently applied, are often all we need to excel in each area of life. You can help make this channel even better in 3 simple ways. 1. Subscribe to receive more Top 3 videos. 2. Leave a comment below to let me know what resonates with you from today's Top 3 video. Or 3. Suggest a topic for a Top 3 video that you will like for us to feature on this channel. Visit hopelify.org to post your own inspirational content.